And we're back again, everybody. Another episode with the Newfie Growlers, fresh off of the best draft, top to bottom at least, that we have had yet. It left us with some interesting questions, mainly, when do we sign certain players? Now, you look at the goaltending situation, it's pretty straightforward. Cousineau, obviously, going to be re-signed and will still be our starter, more than likely, but it does raise the question, right? What do you do with Geet? What do you do with Turgeon and Penner? Do we rush some of these guys, or are we unhappy with how some players have developed by rushing them? Because it seemingly works for some players and doesn't work for others. So that really is going to be the make or break moment for this series, is did we make the right call with the right players at the right time? Did we put someone at the NHL level and just say go for it, or did we give them time to develop? And you guys were split enough in the comments that I think what we're going to do is try the different strategy now of not rushing players. We're going to leave these three in the CHL. We'll leave them unsigned. Not that we couldn't sign them anyway, but we might as well just leave them unsigned. Hugo Laflemme does need his first big boy deal. We'll go ahead and pay him $10 million. That's fine. Plandowski as well. We're probably just going to re-sign. I'm going to leave him unsigned for the moment. Deschamps, another great example. Do we immediately sign him or leave him unsigned? We do know that Dominic Hunwick is out. A big boy, but never really had a shot. 7th round pick already 5 years ago in 2023. So Hunwick is going to be dropped. From there, with the forwards, obviously DeMay will be re-signed, no doubt about that. We get to Dandino, might as well bring him back. Apparently he doesn't want to re-sign, but we'll try to bring him back. Paille just isn't going to make it. 4th round pick 5 years ago, but yeah, he's just, he doesn't have it, so we might as well get rid of him. Froats as well, from the 2024 draft, 7th round pick, Devin Froats. No chance of making it. We will also cut him. And then, of course, Philippe Realm, another player of that ilk, where it's like, okay, do we sign him and play a 48 overall at the NHL level, or leave him unsigned? And like I said, you guys were split pretty much right down the middle as far as what to do. So for the moment, I'm not going to sign him. I want to see how the roster plays out. Maybe we'll change our mind, though. Lucas Canning from the 2022 draft, 6th round pick, is going to be dropped. No hope of him really making it. Can't clear my throat, damn. And for the centers, Cole Hawkins obviously needs to be signed. Gill obviously needs to be signed. Johan Loshing obviously needs to be signed. Duchesne as well, 75 at 21 years old, will be signed. Vidasek, go ahead and bring him back. And Josh Lawrence, who, had that ridiculous trade value for absolutely no reason. Problem is, we're never going to sign him. So one of the first-year draft players in 2020. Hate to say it, good chance we're going to let him go. Good chance we're going to let go of Ivan and Garlock. Oliver's not going to make it. Vanier isn't going to make it either. We do have Corazzini. The big question is how many players are actually going to be under contract. So let's move forward today. Duchesne, Dandino, Savard. I don't think anybody's going to reject, and they didn't. So one more time with the goaltenders. We have options there. Plandowski, we might as well sign. He can at least be a staple at the NHL level, maybe even in the AHL level long term. So I guess no reason to not bring him back on that left-hand side. Of course, we don't have that many great options. So we do have players we can sign because we have 8 exempt deals. Let's bring back Josh Lawrence for a season because I'm probably going to want to drop him. Probably going to want to drop Ivan. What was it, Connor Garlock, I think? Or am I thinking of Connor Garland? Clinton Garlock, there you go. And Oliver, bring you back for 1 season as well. Good chance that we're just going to be dropping all of these players after this next season. As everybody signs, that gets us to, the 41 contracts there, 8 exempt. And we're good to go. So, as mentioned, I might change my mind on the multiple players, the new 7 additions that we brought in the last draft. It really does depend on how this roster's looking. It's always a tough call, though, because we have seen some success with immediately signing players. And, of course, we've had other players who really haven't gotten all that close. Sidney Crosby has not improved as a coach whatsoever. Mark Giordano is available, though, as a head coach. Interesting. Now, Sawyer, again, this is the issue. We have so many players on two-way deals that often doesn't show whether or not it's going to necessarily work out here for us. I do want to try to improve this coaching staff, though. Now, Lynn obviously doesn't work for us, but out of the forward coaches, let's take a look here. Carcillo, Emerson. Obviously, I need someone who really jives with LaRue. Carcillo is decent. Menard is really good. We're looking at Menard or Ezra Fragapani. Better PK from Menard. But Fragapani is also 10 years younger. I think we're going to try to bring in Fragapani as our new head coach. Hate to say it, but Sid's going to be dropped. Crosby just is not improving as a head coach whatsoever. I'm also, honestly, going to drop Zuccarello, and we're going to drop Jason Spezza as well, because I'm going to prioritize Joe Thornton being a coach down in the AHL. We pretty much have to redo all of this. Lindgren, though, can be our NHL goalie coach, and I want you to be an associate. So let's see if we can redo this in a somewhat timely manner. So, as mentioned, let's go with Menard, hopefully, as our head coach. I still wish you could just skip incredibly fast, but you can't. Do a max deal. It's kind of annoying, but hopefully Vincent Menard accepts. And then we also need a good defensive coach. If there is one, there's Ackers. Ooh, good goalie coach, though. Very, very good goalie coach. I don't know what your teaching level happens to be, but yeah, we got to go for it. And then you, how would you like to be an assistant coach? Good old Packers, Parker Ackers. We'll see if those happen to go through. I think I needed to sign some scouts as well. And then, of course, free agency-wise, there's literally nothing we can do. So Menard is here. Ackers is here as well. Jacques Sauvé said no. So that really good goalie coach, I think, has slipped through our grasp here. Unfortunately, no, he's still there. We'll just have to pay him a boatload of money. A max offer really should get him to accept. It typically does, which again is why I want a max offer button for when you're not exactly playing with owner mode on and don't have to care about how much money that you're sending somebody. So there we go. That one should hopefully go through. And I think it's a generalist that we need for the AHL. Yeah, it is. Mark Giordano would be pretty nice. I don't know if he wants to take a step down. Maybe not. He's already gone. Sanchez or Tanaka? Who is it going to be? It is going to be Emilio Tanaka. A+ in both influence and in teaching. So Tanaka would be fantastic for us, really, when talking about trying to get a little bit more out of those younger players in the AHL. I am not exactly holding my breath on that front, though. Hopefully he accepts that. And let me double check. Yeah, I lost like my entire scouting department. I thought that's what happened, but I wasn't quite sure. But yeah, I lost my entire scouting department, and there aren't that many good scouts out there. But, you know, it's the question of, do I really need 17,000 scouts? To be honest, I don't think it's making a difference. So we'll only go with A scouts, and we'll hope for the best there. So again, a little bit forward here. Foss went to St. Louis. Niederberger signed with us, though. Giftopoulos. Sauvé signed this time, which is great. And Tanaka also signed. Beautiful. Okay, so we're looking good. All I'm going to have to do is sign a veteran or two to help fill out the roster. I wish I could get that goalie coach to be our NHL goalie coach, but I got no way to flip it around without firing somebody, so it's fine. And you're not allowed to reassign scouts from here. So let's do it. Let's move ahead, depending on what the salary cap situation is. $45 million in space. Hot damn. We have to sign goalies. So it's going to be Jacob Markstrom. Jacob Markstrom. You can get about $20 million. And let's sign Peter Mrazek. Why not? Good old Peter Mrazek. Philadelphia Flyers great. Peter Mrazek. And we will look to sign the two of them. Beautiful. So we can sim ahead to the beginning of this next season. And fingers crossed, we see a little bit of proper development here. Please, please, please. Let's get some better development. Not just from the players that we have signed, but those who are unsigned. And that's what I care about primarily. And I think they all stayed the same, actually. They did. I'm so tempted. I'm so tempted to sign them, man. Damn. Let's take a look at the roster moves. So, goalie-wise, Mrazek Markstrom will be sent down for Kusno and Russia. Perfect there. Defensively, Bates is up to a 72. That's not that bad. But Laflemme, Sauvé, Plandowski, Rycroft. Oh, boy. Well, we know Bates and Belmar are getting the call-up. So, Brantz and Jenkins will be sent down. As it is, we still have to send somebody down. It'd be between Rycroft and DeRoche. I think DeRoche fits in better with the team, so Rycroft will go down for the moment. But then there's Kamachi, who's a low 6, but he actually developed a little bit. I think we'll leave him there. But Bates and Belmar have made this team. The argument now is, would they be better suited in the AHL or back in junior, or is it better to rush them? And I don't know the answer to that, honestly. Now that I think about it. You know, would it be better? We've seen Kusno develop quite a bit. I honestly have to make up my mind right now. Do I want to play some of these guys down in the AHL? Or give them a shot at the NHL level? That's what I'm talking about. This major, major decision on when to play some of these guys. And some of these dudes like Plandowski and DeRoche not developing. It's kind of scaring me a little bit. I think I'm going to send Kusno down. It's going to be a Markstrom-Russia pairing. Unless I bring in another goalie, I'll probably bring in a random scrub. And then Bates and Belmar will be dropped for Rycroft and Brantz. And we'll let these guys play in junior for a little bit longer. And then forward-wise, it's such a tough call. Because there are so many of these guys where it's like, okay, are they going to be better in the NHL or the AHL? And I genuinely don't know. Problem is we don't really have too many guys to call up. You know what? I've made a decision. I think I've made a decision. The only thing I have to check, though, is the upcoming draft. And who we have available to us in said draft. Right now, Victoriaville doesn't help. I mean, outside of Pierre Leroy, this is looking like a rough first round for us. Unless there's some good movement, this is shaping up to be the worst draft yet. Is it right to coddle some of these players or just throw them to the wolves and see what happens? Some players thrive in the sink or swim tactics, and others very much do not. I'm going for it. This is the make or break episode right here. Whether or not this proves to be the right decision, trust me, I am openly acknowledging that this could completely backfire by not coddling some of these players. But I do think the best thing we could do is to be aggressive with some of the players that we have and hope for the best with their development. Why? Because we're only getting a good draft every 3 to 4 seasons. And let's be honest, we're desperate. Kusno and Geet will be the tandem this year. In the defensive side of things, Bates and Belmar will get the call-up, as will Louis Deschamps. And we'll be sending down that trio. And to be honest, I'd be over the contract limit. So what if I take out DeRoche and we take out Deschamps? So I don't know, actually, if I'll be able to call up everybody. From the looks of it. Yeah, Louis is going to be the one guy who gets kind of kind of left out, unfortunately. Although, if we send down Geet, call up Russia, he goes back down to junior and is then exempt, and then we go here and call up the shop. No, we'd still be able to limit, which is very weird, because he should go back to being exempt. So screw it. We're going to go with Kusno and Geet. We're not going to be able to call up the shop, but that's okay. And then forward-wise, I mean, here we have 10, 11, 12, and 13 with Brady Burns. But in terms of potential, I mean, Marquardt is going to get the bump up again. We have Oliver at a medium bottom 4, Garlock, medium 9 there. Corazzini is one of the interesting ones, of course, as is Philippe Rayon. I don't know if I'll be allowed to call these guys up. I don't think so, at least. Yeah, we'd be over the limit there, pretty sure, because of Rayon, and then we'd still be over the limit because of Corazzini. So the big thing here is going for the goaltender. And whether or not that'll work, I do not know. We'll see. We will see. Am I going to screw myself out of having an actually good goaltender by rushing Geet, even though he is 19? So one would think being a little bit aggressive with the strategy wouldn't necessarily be the worst thing in the world. So Flem and Sauve are fine. For the most part, we can play anybody anywhere. OFD two-way. We have 2 OFDs, which kind of sucks. Bates has really... a really good plus there. Can't get it higher than what it's at. What if we do... Yeah, I had a feeling that wouldn't work. What if we do this? Still wouldn't work. Okay, that's the defense. Again, best it's ever been. How much that means, that can be up to you. And then from here, one more time. We want the snipers, the power forwards on these higher lines. 80, 79. So we'd probably want Marquardt at center. And is there any way to improve upon that +3? The answer is no. So it will be Boucher, Leroux, and LaPierre there. Hannon with Huckins and Marquardt, which is pretty much perfect. In a way, we'll see. And then from there, the bottom 6, I mean... DeMay is better on the third line. Lawson's better on the third line. Vitasek's better on the third line. Gill doesn't really matter. Duchesne and Savard can be on the fourth. And it'll be a +1 no matter what. That is the team. We are set. It's not bad. The big thing is, of course, the question over, hey, why sign these guys? But whatever. It's not as if the contracts are ever really going to be a concern. Russia will be in down in the AHL in a tandem with Markstrom. And defensively, I mean, Ben Rude isn't going to get any better. Let's see, any potential with Bouchard? I mean, not really. Him and Lenovo are pretty rough, but technically, if they have a chance to get better, we might as well give it a shot. You never know. Someone could develop out of nowhere. And then Jenkins as well. Rude won't get any better. Traverse could get a little bit better. Friggin, I mean, he's young enough. Might as well give it a shot with these guys just to see what the hell happens. See if any of them can actually improve. And none of that matters in terms of like chemistry or anything like that. Although we do have 1 OFD, DFD, and Traverse and Levenue. And for the forwards, honestly, we're looking okay. Just want to make sure everyone's actually with us, and they are. I hate to say it, Brady Burns is going to have to take a seat. Again, if there is anybody that can get into the lineup, I don't care how bad their potential is. If you can get into the lineup and you have a chance to get better, screw it, because we are desperate for people who might somehow, some way be able to break out. You know, Oliver at this point, that's not going to happen, but I don't know if we have anybody to replace him. Barbashev is terrible. Lalonde and Reed Shore need to find a way into this lineup. So we're looking at the 23-year-olds. Garlock at a low bottom 6. What's Dan to know? Medium bottom 6. So Garlock will also take a seat for sure. Ha. And that's a team. Is that the best way to set up the squad? I do not know. But like I said, we just looked, like you saw, We just looked. It is shaping up to be probably going from the best draft that we've had yet to the worst. I'm scared for what that draft is going to be. Hopefully we see some good player development with the majority of our players still being in junior. And to be honest, I think I'm going to call up Russia and just play him. And most of the guys that we just drafted will still play in junior as planned, despite me burning a year of their ELCs due to indecision. But hey, what are you going to do? So Geet will be sent down. We'll call up Russia. He'll be sent back down. Mrazek Markstrom will be the tandem in the AHL. Good luck at your advanced age dealing with that defense. But the potential Channel Hall of Famer, as it's been called in Russia, is back in. So there we go. We are set up. We are ready to go. Let's sim yet another season here with the Growlers. Hard to believe we're already going to be heading into 2029. And we'll see what happens. Hopefully it is good news throughout. That is the hope. We start off our season against Dallas. Let's see what we're dealing with here in terms of overall. 78, 71, and a 65. The steady decline. Our defense obviously got a little bit worse on paper, but we're trying to go with some players. Again, the defense is where we're still looking at the strategy of just throw these young guys to the wolves and hope for the best. And we'll see if it works with them. It probably won't. And if it doesn't, then, yeah, we'll start getting a lot more conservative with our strategy here and really just start waiting until these guys are ready. Let them have time to develop in junior, in the AHL, and not rush them at all. You know, it's not too late into the series. Oh my God, our record right now. It's not too late into the series that we couldn't switch our tactics, essentially, and have it be, let's take our time in player development, as opposed to just being like, well, we're screwed. Let's throw people to the wolves here and hope for the best. You know, we could abandon that strategy if we have to. Our record right now is astonishing. I mean, clearly our best record, aside from the 1 year we accidentally made the playoffs. But it looks like it's going to fall back down to reality as it should, although technically we're not that far out of a playoff spot, and we've won 4 in a row. Oh my God. We are in a playoff spot right now, heading into the deadline. Hold on just a second here. Okay, okay. We are in a playoff spot right now. 68 points in 64 games. We have a 4-point lead on Ottawa and Carolina for we're in the first wild card spot, not even the second. 75% locker room chem. Cousineau is rocking a 9-13. Boucher has 24 goals. 24 for LaPierre. I mean, Marcourt sucks. Okay, let's just take this nice and slow. What the fuck? Okay. Nashville and Washington here. Nashville, we lost. Washington, we lost. Still in a playoff spot. Toronto, we won. Chicago, we won. 2 points ahead of Ottawa. Minnesota, we lost. Still in a playoff spot. Anaheim, we lost. Still in a playoff spot. Buffalo, we lost. Still in a playoff spot. It's Florida next, and now we're currently outside the playoffs with 11 games to go. Florida, we won. Back in a playoff spot. Calgary, loss. New York, loss. We're still right there. San Jose, loss. Pittsburgh, loss. Okay, now we're regressing. Now's the time where we blow it. Detroit, we pick up a pity point. Arizona, loss, 1 win in our last 10. We made it close until the final 3 weeks or so we're in a playoff spot. 2 games left. A 2-point lead on Washington. The Newfie Growlers might make the playoffs in 2029. 2 games left. We slow sim against St. Louis. The first time we've slow simmed in a series, or in this series. First period, we're up 2-1. Cody Glass scored first, Plandowski and Boucher with the goals. Second period, we're tied at 2. Xavier Juarez. Russia is in. We go to the third. A pity point could see us into the playoffs. Power play goes to waste for the Blues as we hit the halfway point of the third period. 8 minutes left. The next goal could decide it. Tarasenko scores, and the St. Louis Blues are gonna blow this. We make it to overtime. Jean Savard. Will it end in OT? Or are we going to a shootout? We're going to a shootout. Holy shit. We lost in said shootout, but we still got a pity point. We play Edmonton on the final day of the season. If we win this game, or at least get a point, we have made the playoffs. All we need is a point against the Oilers, and we have made the postseason. First period, 1-1, Aiden Hannon and Leon Draisaitl. Russia is playing again, by the way. Second period, 2-2, LaPierre and Gostisbehere. We are 18 minutes away from making the playoffs for the first time. Power play for the Growlers goes to waste, and DeMay scores. We have the lead with 10.5 to go. Now 8.5. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. The Newfoundland Growlers are going to the postseason. We just made the playoffs. What the fuck? How did this happen? 8th seed or not? Gonna get our asses kicked by the Panthers or not? We just made the playoffs.